Hey guys, MCU Collector here with another video, and this one is the Spider-Man Far From Home Hasbro Marvel Legends series Molten Man Build-A-Figure. This is the Spider-Man hero suit, or the black and red suit, but this is the new suit that he is going to have in Spider-Man Far From Home. So pretty awesome. You can see here, does not include a Build-A-Figure because this is the double pack figure, so the trend has really been whichever figure is going to be double packed will not include a Build-A-Figure piece. So that's same goes for this one. Now, just like the War Machine figure that was in my previous video, this is the only figure from this wave that I have. A friend of mine got his order from Entertainment Earth of the two waves, and he sold me his double. So I got the Spider-Man figure and the War Machine figure. So I don't have any other figures to review, so this one will be it, and I'm very happy to have this and appreciative to him. So pretty awesome. We'll get right to it. Spider-Man Far From Home logo there. You see Spider-Man, you see the figure and the two interchangeable hands that he comes with. Molten Man logo up at the top, home Spider-Man logo on the side, on the top. On the side, we have promo art of the Spider-Man himself from the movie, and we get the same or similar image on the back. You see all the figures from the wave. Let's take a look at that bio. Okay, Spider-Man. Peter Parker continues his adventures as the web-slinging superhero Spider-Man. So a little brief little bio. There are all the figures in the wave to build Molten Man. Here is the UPC for everyone. Let's get right to it and open this bad boy up. Okay, and here is the new Spider-Man hero suit figure out of the package, and you can see here he is with all of the Hasbro Marvel Legends MCU Spider-Man figures, and this one is about on par with really all the others. So a couple of people have commented on the lack of the panel lining or the painted web lines. Now on this particular figure, I don't mind it because in my opinion, this is just completely me, but when you have a figure with sculpted web lines and then you put in the paint, it never really looks clean, in my opinion. Or they give us like the gray look, which is supposed to be because it's like you know, the web lines are real light on his suit in the movies. But for me it doesn't work. So I don't mind if the web lines are sculpted and then there's no paint, or if they're not sculpted and painted on web lines. I do like the way that looks, like such as the Pizza Spidey, you know, the comic book figures. But that's just my personal preference. Now, I'd have to go back and look at pictures because the movie's not out yet. I don't know off the top of my head, and there goes that Spider-Man. So I don't know how dark the web lines are supposed to be in Far From Home for this suit. So as of right now, I think this looks good. It has a very, very bright red to it, so it really looks good in contrast with the black of the suit to really stand out. So I really like the way that looks, because you could see in all the other Spider-Man figures that the red has been pretty dull. You know, we might get a bright blue every now and then, but the red is really what's going to stand out and really make the figure pop. So it is what it is there. Now, I went through these figures and then this figure, and I checked all the pieces to see if anything was reused on this figure from any of these previous figures. And as far as I can tell, this figure is 100% new sculpt. I was thinking maybe the legs were reuse of the Homecoming figure or the Civil War figure, but it does look like they are in fact brand new. The boots, the feet, the head sculpt even, those are all brand new. The arms, everything about it is brand new. So let's get in a closer look so you guys can see the figure. Okay, so up close, take a look at the figure. So the red is a real nice glossy look, but then the head sculpt is a little matte, so it doesn't quite look as right when you really look at it closely. From far away, it's really not too bad, or in some bright light, it's not going to look bad, but even here you can see on the head sculpt, it's kind of a dull red compared to the bright red of the rest of the body on the torso. You can see on the the spider logo on his chest, it looks kind of weird. It's because there's supposed to be a white outline. So if you look at the suit, it actually the spider logo kind of has white around the edges. So what it looks like is that they painted the spider white and then they painted black over it. It's not 100% clean, but I think it does give it that effect that he does have in the movie. And then, you know, on the back of the figure, the spider logo is white. So it came out pretty good. Now, as far as the paint apps, it's going to be a little bit tough because the torso is going to be a red piece, so the black is actually painted on. So because of that, you're going to see some reds kind of bleed through. You can see right there. and then right there, kind of along those rib cages and some of those areas. So not the cleanest of paint, but it's subtle and it's not too bad from far away. But if you have your choice, if you have a chance to kind of look and pick and choose, kind of look over that, because then, you know, that could be one of those things that kind of stops you. And then even on his back, you can see some red kind of bleeding through as well. But looking at the whole figure, I really like it. It has this textured look to it. If you could see kind of the ripple look in the suit, so the texture of it really came through. And it's not necessarily something that you can feel. I don't know if it's applied in the paint, similar to how they've done like the denim jeans, like on the Jessica Jones figure, the Mary Jane figure, or even the Luke Cage figure, how it has that denim textured look to it. This figure is kind of similar because you can't really feel it in the plastic. So I don't know if that's just how the paint is applied to kind of give it that look, but I do really like it. And you can see here for the boots, all red. Again, no black web lines painted. Now around the boots, so where the red meets the black, is actually kind of sloppy in some areas. It looks pretty good actually in the front, but then when you look at the back, it doesn't really follow the sculpt line of the boot 100%. It's not terrible, but you know, it's definitely a little flawed. And then you have your feet. There's no paint on them again. So there he is up close. Again, looks really good. Now we'll zoom out and take a look at the articulation. Okay, so measuring out Spider-Man, you can see he is just under 6 inches tall. He's pretty close. Let's say about 5 3/4. So not quite 6 inches, but he is a pretty good height. You can see he's about the same height as all the previous Spider-Man figures. You know, if we want to look at like the Homecoming figure up close, they're about the same height. Maybe Far From Home is a little bit tall. Actually, Homecoming looks taller there, but he's kind of leaning. They're about the same height, so they work out well. The articulation is going to be very similar, so it's all kind of the same thing, even though it's new sculpt. So we got the butterfly joints and everything on here, but we'll go through it. So the head can look all the way down, can look all the way up, which is great, and you do get full swivel. There's a little bit of pivot in there. The shoulder joints go out that high, both sides, so that works out great. You get a full rotation, and then you have a butterfly joint, so his shoulder can come in that far and then can go back that far, which is really good. So great butterfly motion back there. You get upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbow, which gives you that much of a bend, so great bend there. The wrist, you get a swivel and a hinge, an ab crunch. He can crunch down this far. Going back, he can go quite a bit backwards as well. We get a waist swivel in there. Legs can go out that far apart. Can kick forward that much. Back a little bit, so that's actually pretty good. You get upper thigh cut there. And then a solid double jointed knee. No boot swivel at all, but you get foot that hinges all the way down, up quite a bit as well, and then of course ankle pivot. So solid articulation on this guy, but it's exactly what we've seen with the previous MCU figures. There's really no difference to it at all. Now let's see if we can do some head sculpt. So we're going to pop this one off, and let's see if this Tom Holland head from the Homecoming 2-pack with the Iron Man Sentry, the Mark 47, let's see if this head fits on this new one. It would have been nice to get a new Tom Holland head, one that actually kind of looks like him. And it looks like this is not going to be fitting on this figure. So I'm sure you'll be able to Dremel out that peg hole if you really want to get it. Maybe warm it up, but I cannot get that Tom Holland head on there, unfortunately. So this figure is pretty lacking because he doesn't really come with any accessories other than interchangeable hands. So out of the package, you could see right hand is an open hand, left hand is the thwipping hand. He comes with the additional hand, so the right can have a thwipping hand and the left can have an open holding hand. So not a whole lot there, but that's the figure. There's really nothing else to go over on this figure. Gone over the articulation and showed you some close-up shots of it. Be nice to see some comparisons with some of the other figures in the wave, especially the Mysterio figure, which I do not have yet though. So when I get the Mysterio figure, I'll definitely be adding this one into that review so you guys can see some size comparisons and how it looks overall. But I am very pleased with this figure. Again, It's a Spider-Man figure. There's no Build-A-Figure. There's no additional accessories or anything like that. But of course, we were going to get the new suit from the movie. So I'm very happy to have it added into my MCU display. Then I'll have to get another one just because it's an MCU Spider-Man. So I'm very happy to add an additional one into my collection. If you guys have any questions, let me know down in the comments below. Hit that thumbs up if you guys like the video. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.